අයිබෝන් දේපුතේ.
Good evening, sir, or good afternoon.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
කොමක් නෑ මේ රෙකෝඩින් එකෙන් පස්සේ කවුරුත් දන්නේ නැහැ මේක ඊවිනින්ද තිබ්බේ කොහොමද කියලා. ඕකේ. දැන් මේ good night නෙවෙයි midnight කිට්ටු වෙන්නත් ළඟයි ටිකක්. හරි. What it is? අයිබෝන් again. Okay. Good. So we discussed that biochemistry. අපේ ජෛව රසායනය ගැන අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. So we were discussing about carbohydrates, types of carbohydrates in details. Okay, in this yes, first of all I'm going to show you that tute. So now you can complete these things. Okay, so chemical basis. So what's the ratio between hydrogen and oxygen atoms in carbohydrate molecules? So if you could not get this tute, so definitely I'll send you that and you have to request for it. Okay, Buddha maker me labila නැත්නම් if you could not get this, so you have to request for that, because last few days my WhatsApp account was so that was blocked by WhatsApp company. I don't know the reason behind that. So that was business account according to the business agreements. So they are considering that PDFs and all the things we share, so they are business tools. Therefore, they are not allowed. So my basic account was given again. I think January month එකේ මොලා එවපු messages එව නැහැ. සමහර වගේ කාවලා තියෙනවා, සමහර ඒවා නැහැ. Therefore, so I don't have that recently uploaded video links, but they exist in YouTube channel. It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's see. Chemical basis of life. Chemical composition of the body. So the major important things. Okay. Carbohydrates, what we were discussing is hydrogen and oxygen ratio. So that's, what's that? 2 to 1. 2 to 1. Okay. So what's the common molecular formula of carbohydrates? So you can write that in this given space. So what are the three major types of carbohydrates? As you discussed.
Monosaccharides, disaccharides.
Yes, monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Okay, 15th question. So you have to classify them.
2 to 1.
Yes. Yes, so you can classify them into three distinct groups: monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. And you have to write common formulas as well. Okay. So next you have to list down example. Okay, all the examples you have to write. Okay, next. Yes, here you can see monosaccharide, simple sugar. So you can write short descriptions what we have learned. What are the common properties of the monosaccharides? Yes, we did not discuss that. All the monosaccharides are readily soluble. So they can be dissolved in water, and it gives, most of them gives a sweet taste. A sweet taste, but not all the times. Okay, we could not discuss that last week. Monosaccharide, glucose, fructose, so that's fruit sugar, so that's very sweet taste. But galactose, we find it in milk, okay, cow milk, so breast milk, so we found it, and its sweet taste cannot be observed there. So but almost all the monosaccharide, most of the time they give a sweet taste. Yes, they can be crystallized. We can make that crystalline forms. So what are the examples for the monosaccharides? Examples for the monosaccharides.
Glucose, fructose, and galactose.
Yes, glucose, fructose, and galactose. Okay, so what you learn, so you can write all the things with details, what you have discussed. So where it is produced and the nature of that, where it can be found. So these things can be written there. Okay, so these things you can complete in the tute. Yes, today. Take down the last monosaccharide. අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තු අන්තිම monosaccharide එක පුතා ලියා ගන්න. That's galactose. Galactose. Yes, same common formula. We can write that C6H12O6. Okay, that structure varies, but this molecular formula is same one. C6H12O6. So galactose. Where we can find it? Yes, in dairy products. Take down. Can be found in milk. කිරිවල අන්තර්ගතයි. Yes. So this is the end product. End product of the hydrolysis. End product of the hydrolysis of lactose. Lactose is a disaccharide. When you hydrolyze this lactose disaccharide, the end product is glucose plus galactose. Okay, take down. End product of the hydrolysis of lactose. එතන පුතා දාගෙන one of end product. Okay, one of end products of the hydrolysis of lactose. Okay, let's write the hydrolysis process. So that's lactose sugar.
Sir, what about the locations existing?
Yes, that's cow milk, right? Cow milk, like dairy products. කිරි ආහාරවල තමයි තියෙන්නේ dairy products. Okay, so lactose is hydrolyzed by the enzyme called lactase. Lactase. When the lactose sugar is hydrolyzed by lactase, end products are glucose plus galactose. Glucose plus galactose. Yes. What about sweet taste? No sweet taste, but it consists that lactose sugar, somewhat sweet taste there, but in this galactose, not sweet taste. Very less.
Yes, sir.
No.
If we drink that cow's milk, we can feel that.
No sweet taste. You can feel that sweet taste in cow milk.
No, sir, there's no
No,
sweet.
sir. I told we can't feel that taste.
Yeah.
There's no taste like.
Yes, we
It's
cannot.
like little bit bitter, sour, like that.
Maybe. Mama consume කරලා තියෙනවා, but it has somewhat smell, but it is not stand. Cow milk that's nutritious rather than that powdered milk. හැබැයි ඉතින් අර මේ පැටියට දෙන්නේ නැතුවනේ ඔක ගන්නනේ. යාව පෙන්නලා තමයි ගන්න නේද? So that's something bad there. Okay, good. Now, that's all the monosaccharides we have discussed. Next, we have to discuss what? That's disaccharides. Next, take down the topic, disaccharides. Disaccharides. The term di means two. Disaccharides. Yes, how these disaccharides are formed? Disaccharides are formed by the combination of two monosaccharides. Yes, by the combination of two monosaccharides. So actually, this is a kind of dehydration reaction. Okay, this is above combination is a dehydration reaction. Yes. How do you say so? කොහොමද අපි කියන්නේ මේක dehydration reaction කියලා? Yes, when two monosaccharides combine together, one water molecule is removed. Okay, let's take one example. Okay, imagine this is two glucose molecules. Okay, so this is a reversible reaction. So this forward reaction is dehydration reaction. So that's dehydration. Because when they combine together, one water molecule is removed. So reverse reaction is what? Hydrolysis. Therefore, this reaction occurs to both directions. So that's two glucose molecules combined together to form, yes, with the removal of one water molecule. Now tell me, C6 plus C6 all together, C12, H12 must be H24, but because of this removal of two hydrogen atoms, it must be 22. Okay, oxygen 6 plus 6, it must be 12, but because of the removal of this single oxygen atom, so you have to write this 11. Okay, is it clear to you? this dehydration process because water molecule is released. Yes, in reversible reaction, water is added. So hydroxyl part and hydrogen part is added, then it is hydrolysis. Right. Okay, let's write the examples for these reactions. Yes, likewise, glucose plus glucose. Yes, maltose is formed and one water molecule is released. Next, glucose plus fructose. Sucrose is formed with the removal of one water molecule. Next one, glucose plus galactose. That's what we learned finally in monosaccharides lesson. Glucose plus galactose. Yes, that's lactose sugar. Okay. Okay, I think all of you have taken down this. Now let's learn about,
Not yet, sir. 1 second.
okay, take another minute.
Sir,
Yes, tell me.
sir, what is the Sinhala meaning of dehydration?
Dehydration, විජලකරණ ප්‍රතික්‍රියා. විජලකාරී ප්‍රතික්‍රියා. වතුර ඉවත් කරනවා.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, why did we add the molecule there? I can't understand that. We should remove one more, sir.
We should remove one water molecule. Okay.
Yes.
So, yes, after removing, it is added to the product site. So that water molecule exists that was in this reactant site. ඇත්තට මේ molecule එක ඇතුළේනේ පුතා තිබ්බේ. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් glucose molecule එකක් මේ වගේ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that's like this. Or H is a linear structure, okay? this normal aldehyde group. Yes, when to combine, පුතා අපි හිතමු මේ bond එකක් තවත් එක්කෙනෙක් මේ පැත්තෙන් බැඳෙනකොට, okay, I'll put that hydroxyl here. Yes, another molecule combine. So then what happens? H comes there. H plus HO. Yes, it is removed as H2O. The remaining bonds join together. Then මේ දෙන්න එකතු වෙනවා මේ bond දෙක. ඒ කියන්නේ molecule දෙකක් එකට එකතු වෙනවා. So earlier that H2O exists in these both molecules. මේ molecule දෙකේ තමයි H2O තිබුණේ. Hydroxyl part existed in one molecule, H from the other one. With the combination of both, H2O is released. That released one is added to the product site. Then මේ products පැත්තේ තමයි අපි ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, so therefore it's the correct way of writing. So what is produced? I think that's clear to you.
Yes, sir, I understood.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Now, we are going to learn with much detail. So these disaccharides, okay, take down the first disaccharide. පළවෙනි disaccharide එක පුතා ලියා ගන්න. So that's maltose. You learned that. Yes, how it is formed. First take down. Maltose is formed. Maltose is formed. The combination of two glucose molecules by two glucose molecules. Yes, no need to write it again. If you like, you can write that. Okay, so that's glucose. Oh, glucose plus glucose. Yes, maltose plus water.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in that first point, two glucose molecule.
Yes, you can put two glucose formed by the combination of
I
two.
mean, is it GLU, CO, SCO? Have you written X?
Where's that? Formed by the combination of two glucose. Okay, don't struggle with that. You know how to write glucose. Okay, that glucose plus glucose. Maltose plus water. So this is dehydration reaction, as well as in the hydrolysis of starch. Hydrolysis of starch. So maltose is intermediate product. Okay, so you can turn your pages back. In the hydrolysis of starch, end product is glucose, intermediate product is maltose. Did you check it? Okay, now let's write that. Maltose is the intermediate product at the hydrolysis of starch amylase. So what's the intermediate product? Maltose. Okay, so that maltose is further hydrolyzed by maltase enzyme. So these enzymes are actually proteins, water soluble. So maltose is hydrolyzed by maltase into two glucose molecules, glucose plus glucose. So this is intermediate product. Yes, Januki, how to tell that? මේ maltose තමයි starch hydrolyze කරන process එකේදී හම්බ වෙන අතරමැදි ඵලය. So how do you tell that in English? Maltose is the intermediate product.
Starch hydrolysis.
Hydrolysis of starch. At the hydrolysis of starch, maltose is the intermediate product produced in the process of hydrolyzing starch. Yes, where you can find it? කොහෙද පුතා මේක අපිට හම්බ වෙන්නේ? Oh, ප්‍රෝහණය වෙන බීජවල, පැලවෙන බීජවල. ඔයගලන්ටත් malted drinks හදන්න පුළුවන් මම මේ කියන දේ කළොත් එහෙම. Okay, are you ready to do that? Yes, you have to soak some cowpea. So whatever the type of seeds, grain seeds, soak it water. අපි මුං යට ටිකක් කරගෙන පුතා වතුරේ දාලා තියෙනවා. So soak in water. වතුරේ පෙඟෙන්න දානවා. Okay. Yes, that seeds soak in water. So then you can observe that part of the root is coming out. So it's coming out. So that means germination starts. Okay, in this process of germination, already produced starch is utilized. The seed consists starch. මේ seed එකේ starch pack කරලා එවලා තියෙන්නේ. කවුද? එයාගේ අම්මා. Mother plant. Mother plant has sent that some amount of starch, lipids and proteins for the consumption of their babies. Right? මේ මෞෂාකය තමන්ගේ දරු පැටවුන්ට පෝෂණයට කෑම මල්ලක්ම දීලා එවලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, so that's consist starch. When water enters into this seed, enzymatic reactions, all the enzyme reactions take place. As a result of this, so what you learned previously, the hydrolysis of starch with the help of amylase. මේක ඇතුලේ තියෙන amylase activate වෙනවා පුතා water soluble වෙලා. නැත්නම් එයා ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ නැහැ වතුර තිබ්බේ නැහනේ. The moisture was not available earlier, but because of soaking, water enters into that, then amylase in action. Okay, so amylase, it converts starch into maltose. If further reaction occurs with maltase, finally glucose is produced. So what you do? So you have to stop this Further reaction, we call that seasoning process. So you can heat it. All the enzymes are killed. When you heat it, what happens? All the enzymes are killed. So you can grind it up to a fine textured powder. So it gives a sweet taste, right? So that's how that, so this is maltose, malted drink, malt. So that's how malt is formed. Okay, I think that's clear for you. Yes, where it exists. Maltose thin. Yes, exist in germinating seeds. Okay, take down that point. I think it's first time you learned or like the malted drinks kata. I remember my A-level teacher taught me that for the first time. Mage biology කරන්න හොඳටම පාස් වෙන ශිෂ්‍යයෝ මට ඇවිල්ලා රික්වෙස්ට් කළොත් මම ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම එක්කගෙන ගිහිල්ලා එක්කමම කියලා යවනවා නැත්නම් මමම ගිහිල්ලා බාර දෙනවා මගේම ස්කූල් බයොලොජි ටීචර්ට එයා දැන් මේ කලින් අවුරුද්දේ රිටයර් වුණා ඒ කියන්නේ එයා පෙන්ෂන් දැන් හරි nice teaching. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස් ලා ගන්නෙ නෑ. සාමාන්‍ය ටීචර් කෙනෙක් ඕනම ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් ගන්නවනේ. But she never take. සියලු දේ හොයනවා. මෙයා හොඳට ඉගෙන ගනීද නැද්ද? පිස්සු නටන කෙනෙක්ද ඒ ඔක්කොම බලලා තමයි ගන්න. කවුරු හරි O level ටීචර් කෙනෙක් රෙකමන්ඩ් කළේ නැත්නම් ටීචර් මෙයා හොඳ ළමයෙක් කියලා මට මගේ ස්කූල් බයොලොජි ටීචර් she will never accept that student as her own student. එක ජාතික පාසලක වැඩිම ලකුණු තිබ්බ ශිෂ්‍යයා තුන් පාරක් ගිහින් තියනවා එයාගේ තාත්තත් එක්ක මේ ටීචර්ගේ ක්ලාස් එකට දාන්න බැරුව ගියාම මට personally සියලු වැඩ දාලා යන්න උනා ටීචර් හම්බෙලා එයාව ස්ටුඩන්ට්ව බාර දීලා එන්න. ඊට පස්සේ ගත්තා කිව්වා. Now he is in medical college. with ළමයි 20ක් හිටියොත් 20ම ඒ සාමාර්ථ ගන්නවා පුතා ඒ ලොකු groups කරන්නේ. Okay. So now I think maltose we have completed that. Take down next one. Yes, next disaccharide. Glucose plus fructose. What's that?
Sucrose.
Sucrose. Okay, take down. Yes, where it exists? It exists in phloem sap. Phloemia යුෂය තමයි තියෙන්නේ. So what does it mean by phloem? Today I taught that to grade 7 students. Yes, so this is a plant leaf. Yes. After the photosynthesis, yes, photosynthesized initial product is glucose. Okay, so you know that 6 carbon dioxide, 6 H2O with the help of sunlight, and sunlight is absorbed in the presence of chlorophyll. Yes, initial product, main product, C6H12 or 6, you know that, what's that? Glucose. Initial product is glucose, and byproduct is what? Byproduct is Oxygen. 6 oxygen molecules are produced. So this glucose, large number of glucose molecules. In the next step, what happens? So this glucose subjected to the process of polymerization, glucose molecule ගොඩාක් එකතු වෙලා පුතා හැදෙනවා. Yes, n number of glucose. Yes, that process of polymerization. Yes, what's produced? What's produced there? Starch. Starch හැදෙනවා. So that starch is the stable product of this photosynthesis process. But at the night, so this starch is again converted into what is, so this starch is not water soluble. Starch වතුර දිය වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් නිපද වෙන starch ඔක්කොම plant leaf එකේ store කරන්න ගියොත් එහෙම ඒක ලොකු structure එකක් බවට පත් වෙයි. එතකොට නිකන් කොලයක් අලයක් වෙනවා වගේ scene එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. හරි? කොලයක් fruit එකක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. ඒක වෙන්න බෑනේ. So therefore, so this produce foods must be removed from the leaf surface. Leaf surface එකෙන් මේක අයින් කරන්න ඕන. But how to do that? Starch is not water soluble. Therefore, plant has to convert this starch into a water soluble form. Plant එකට සිද්ධ වෙනවා මේ starch water soluble form එකක් බවට පත් කරන්න. So in that process, what happens? Starch is hydrolyzed into sucrose. So this is a somewhat complex biological process because you know the starch directly it happens maltose. Maltose is converted into glucose. So how this happened to sucrose, that biology is not in our syllabus. Okay, so therefore you have to concern that this starch is converted at night into sucrose. Now it is water soluble. Now it's water soluble. Then what happens? Yes, it is translocated from plants to storage in parts of the plant. So look at this. So this is how the leaf is, and inside this we can see the cross section of this plant stem. So it consists two types of tissues. ගහක කඳේ තියෙනවා tissues වර්ග දෙකක් ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් conducting tissues. Okay, so we call that vascular bundles. Vascular bundles. As just as you see this, you remember orange, half of orange. It's quite similar to that, but this is a linear diagram. Actually, cells exist here. Okay, if you closely observe that with a microscope, you can see actually that's a tube system. That's a tube system. So this outer part is phloem that translocate food both direction of the plant stem. උඩට ගියොත් මේවා පුතේ it is stored in what? Fruits. That sucrose is deposited again as starch. Sucrose ඉදිරියට ගිහලා starch ඉදිරියට තමයි deposit වෙන්නේ. So this is the sink and this is the source, this is the sink. ඔකට කියනවා sink source mechanism කියලා. University එකේ උගන්වන පාඩමක් හරි. So that sink source mechanism. So what happens there? And if it goes down to this phloem tissue, it is stored in මොකද වෙන්නේ? So it's stored in where? Yes, stored in these roots, then it is swollen. So what's this? On the carrot, radish, beetroot. So that's how they are stored. The sucrose is the transportation form of carbohydrate in plants. Plants වල මේ transport කරන system එක තමයි එයා sucrose කරලා දිය කරනවා. එහෙම තමයි transport කරන්නේ. Okay, so therefore that's very important for plants. Okay, now take down Sucrose, yes. Can be found in crystalline forms. කැට වශයෙන් දකින්න පුළුවන් අපිට laboratory, okay? Can be found in crystalline forms. Crystals, කැටිති. Spatika, crystalline forms of පුතේ සීනි වර්ග දෙක මොකක්ද? රතු සීනි කියනවා නේද? So that's brown sugar. Brown sugar මේ narcotics මොනවද මේ මොනවද ඒකට කියන්නේ brown sugar මේ මොනවද මේ මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය තියෙනවානේ මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය තියෙනවා then not that, okay? So that's brown sugar and white sugar. සුදු සීනි සහ රතු සීනි අපි කියලා කියන්නේ, but actually that's not red, that's brown color. Okay, exist in phloem sap. Phloem sap. Phloemia eushadium. Yes, that food translocating tissue is phloem. Phloemia eushadium. So that's exist in phloem sap. Exist in phloem sap. පුතා මේ ඔය හින්දා හරි මොකක් හරි ප්‍රශ්න නිසා ක්ලාස් ඉන්නේ නැතුව නෝට් එක මට ෆෝවර්ඩ් කළේ නැති කිසිම කෙනෙක් මම ආයි ක්ලාස් එකට ගන්නෙ නැහැ. තේරුණා නේද? ඉතින් මේ so you have to dedicate for this. මේකට කැපවීමක් කරන්න ඕනේ. නිකන් අපිට ඔහෙ grade 9 වගේ ඉගෙනilla යයි ලකුණු 90 ගණන් එයි. ඒ වගේ නිකන් සැබෑ නොවන සිහින ලෝකයක ඉන්න එපා. So you have to work hard if you want to succeed this. Make a dinandanang mahansi venda. So you have to succeed. Okay, you have to succeed definitely. If you want to succeed, so you have to do dedications. Kapakirim karandavi. Nettam mewa nikan lazyum venavana. If that happens very easily without a dedication, okay, all are doctors, all are engineers, all are technicians. Okay. So හැමෝම වෛද්‍යවරු වෙන්න එපා ඔය කියන විදිහට. මේ වගේ ලේසි නම් කැපකිරීමක් කරන්න ඕනේ උන්ට බුදියලා ඒ පුළුවන් නම්. So එතකොට මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේ වීඩියෝ එක බලන නිසා මම මේ කියන්නේ. ඉතින් තාම තේරුමක් නැහැ. You know nothing. So this is the first time I think you do 2 classes per week. සතියකට science පන්ති දෙකක් කරන පළමු අවස්ථාව වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉස්සර අපි කරන්නේ සතියට පැය 4 පන්ති තමයි තියෙන්නේ. හරි? But I know really, so you are not ready to that. ඔයාලා මේ පැය 4 පන්තියට සූදානම් නැහැ. There are several reasons for that. තාම exam බය දැනිලා නැහැ. When you learn that chemistry, physics, you will feel that. Okay? ඒකත් exam එක හෙට කියලා අපි පාඩම් කරන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා නම් exam එකක් ලිව්වට පස්සෙම තමයි තේරුම් ගන්න එක. හරි? ලකුණු අඩු වුණාම තමයි තේරුම් ගන්න. So I wish you not to be so. මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා ලකුණු අඩු වෙන්න එපා කියලා. හැබැයි තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Okay, now let's see. Exist in phloem sap. Okay. So what are the examples? So where are these sucrose is existing more? So good sources of sucrose. Sugar cane juice. Okay, take down sugar cane juice. Yes. Extraction of carrot and beetroot. Extraction of carrot and beetroot. Extraction එක කියන්නේ පුතා නිස්සාරණය. මේ මොකක්ද ඒකට කියන්නේ? juice කියන අපි සාරය. Yes. Now, the biochemistry part of that. How sucrose is formed? You already know that. මතක් වෙන්නත් එක්ක ලියන්න. Yes. Sucrose is formed by the union of a glucose molecule and a fructose molecule. Yes, that's also a type of dehydration reaction. Glucose plus fructose. Yes, sucrose plus water. Okay, good. Did you take down this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone to write?
Wait, sir, I am writing the equation.
Okay. Then no මතකින් ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ නේද? No need to cram these things very much because so you have to familiar with them. So you can cram all other subjects, but science පොතේ පාඩම් කරන්න සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දවසකට පැය කාලක් 15 minutes per day, but every day. තේරුණාද? පැය ගණන් ඔය සතියකට විතර සැරයක් නෙමෙයි. That's enough. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. හැමදාම පාඩම් කරගෙන යන්න. When you practice this every day, so you can complete that within less amount of time. Sometimes you don't need to cram again and again. So you can summarize that. මතකයෙන්ම මතක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So that's you can mind practice it. Okay. Yes, next type of disaccharide is lactose. Lactose. Yes, where it found in dairy products. Yes, okay, right. How it is formed, chemistry of formation. Produced by the combination of glucose and galactose monosaccharides. Okay, write that reaction. Okay, write only forward reaction. Okay, it is not much sweet. It does not give that sweet taste like glucose or fructose. Okay, take down, not as sweet as glucose or fructose, not as sweet as glucose or fructose.
Sir, can you say it again?
Not as sweet as glucose or fructose. Cow milk වලට වැඩිය අපේ අම්මගේ මව් කිරි වල lactose percentage එක වැඩි නේද? In cow milk, percentage of lactose 4 to 6. Okay, 4 to 6. 4% to 6%. But in human breast milk, that's 6% to 7%. ඒකනේ පස්ස උඩ දාගෙන කිරි බොන්නේ නේද? චූටි කාලේ. අර වවුල්ලු වගේ එල්ලිලා. හරි. දැන් ඉතින් ඔය පොෂ් වෙලා හිටියට ඉස්සර එහෙම තමයි. නේද ජානුකි? So නදීකත් එහෙම කියලා ආරංචියක් තියෙනවා මට. Okay. අපේ කාලේ නම් ඒ වගේ මේ අර ලැජ්ජාවට පත් වෙන්න උනේ නැහැ. මොකද දැන් වීඩියෝස් නැහැනේ අපේ කාලේ වීඩියෝ කැමරාව මොකුත් නැහැ. දැන් පොඩි අය ලොකු වුණාම හැමදේම වීඩියෝ කරලා තියෙනවා. හරි. ඉතින් so you will feel shy. ඔයාලගෙත් තියෙනව නේද? Good. So let's take down the lactose percentage of cow milk 4% to 6%. Lactose percentage of human breast milk that 6% to 7%. Okay, next, very important point. Now keep your pen aside. Pen at the end of පැත්තකින්. Okay, now listen to me. Listen to me carefully. Okay. Now listen to me carefully. Okay. So what is that? ඔය කියන polysaccharide? Yes. Polysaccharide. Poly. Well, poly. Poly means yes, continuously combine again and again. Yes. Polysaccharides are natural polymers of carbohydrates. Polysaccharides are the natural polymers of carbohydrates. What are the polymers here? Polymers. You got a single ink, don't write, okay? Bahu avayavika. Avayava ගොඩාක් එකට එකතු වෙලා. More components combined together. මොනවද එකතු වෙච්ච අවයව? That's monomers. Monomers. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකාවයවික. ඒකාවයවික. මේ වචන ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා කතාව. හරි? Polymers, monomers. So here comes the polymer. That's a polymer, polysaccharide. Okay. Polymer means here it gives special name in carbohydrates. This carbohydrates, that polymer is named by a special name, polysaccharides. Polysaccharides. It's a polysaccharide. And there are different forms of polysaccharides here. Okay, so that's monomers, ekavayavika. In carbohydrates, that monomer is what? What's that? Amai nidida putala. Are you sleeping?
Monosaccharide.
Yes, that's monosaccharide.
No, sir.
Monosaccharides. Well, ලැජ්ජාව බෑ. ඔගොල්ලෝ හොරෙන් ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න බදාදා ඔය අටට. හරි? කොහොමද මේ grades 6 ඉස්සර පොඩ්ඩෝ ටික ඉන්නේ කියලා. හරි? වීඩියෝ on කරගෙන නිදිමත ගානක්වත් නැහැ. හරි? කෑග ගහ ඉන්නේ. මම හිතන්නේ accidentally ඔයාලා මම හිතන්නේ එක දවසක් ආවද මන්ද? So they are very active. So among all the active groups I have, the most active group is grade 6 active group. ඒක active කියන්නේ කතා කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ. හරි? So හැම වෙලේම ජානු කී අහනවා sir may I sing a song? Okay? මම paper class එකේ වීඩියෝ එකක් දාන්නම් ඔයාලට නිකන් hina වෙන්න. හරි? So that's මම මේ ලොකු බරපතල දෙයක් උගන්වන්න හදන්නේ. So okay, now look at this. කියද්දි excuse me sir මම සින්දුවක් කියන්නද? May I sing a song කියන. Right? So that's so funny class. Now polymers. So this is in chemistry. Polymers and monomers. පුතේ ඒකාවයවික එකතු වෙලා තමයි බහුඅවයවික හැදෙන්නේ. මේ බලන්නකෝ. This is chemistry. මේ රසායන විද්‍යාව බලන්න. So that's organic chemistry. So this is the gas ethene. මේ තියෙන ethene කියන gas එක. Gas ethene. Okay. So another ethene gas molecule. Another ethene molecule. Okay, I'll draw another ethene molecule. Yes. Next, what happens? These bond electrons. Yes, it comes here. මේ electron දෙක ආවහම ඒ දෙන්න එක share කරගෙන new bond is created and this double bond is broken. A new bond is created. Okay, so likewise, it make a chain reaction and it exists as a chain. So this is how these all the ethene molecules combine together. So we call that ethene is the monomer. තනියම හිටපු ethene monomer. Now this is polymer. What's the name of this polymer? Polyethylene. පිටකවර එහෙම දාන්න ගන්න. So that's polyethylene. So this is the chemistry that the common term for that is polyethylene, that's polymer, Earlier existed one is monomer, that is ethene. So that's chemistry. But in this biochemistry of carbohydrates, that polymer here is polysaccharides. There are different polysaccharides. Let's discuss that later. And the monomer in carbohydrate is monosaccharide. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. තේරුණේ නැත්නම් කාරණා දෙකක් හේතුවෙනවා. If you could not understand this, that's due to a couple of reasons. One is sleepy or lethargy. එක්කෝ නිදිමත නැත්නම් කම්මැලිකම නිසා. Okay.
The last year we learned about these polymers, no sir?
Oh, අපි පොඩි introduction එකක් දුන්නනේ මොනවටද? Polysaccharides වලට.
Nanotechnology.
Yes, nanotechnology. Also, we discussed that. Right. Now, take down here. Polysaccharides are natural polymers of carbohydrates. Yes, polymers, monomers. Take this down. Large number of monosaccharides combine together. Large number of monosaccharides combine together to form polysaccharides. Okay. I think you have taken down this. Next, take down these common properties of polysaccharides. Yes, take down. Polysaccharides exist in both plant and animal bodies. Exist in both plant and animal bodies. Two forms exist. Yes, structural and storage in. Yes, in plants, structural. What is a structural polysaccharide of plant's body? Cellulose. Yes, what is the structural? Let's write this plant's body structural cellulose. Storage in. Storage in. Yes, that's starch. In animals' body. Puta, animals' body that direct the pure form of polysaccharide does not exist as structural. අපි මේ සත්තුන්ගේ pure form එකක් නෑ structural. හැබැයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙනවද කුරුමිනියෝ that coleopterans beetles අර ඔළුවේ අඟක් එහෙම තියෙන්නේ Oryctus rhinoceros කියන කුරුමිනියා මොකද නම Oryctus rhinoceros rhino ගේ වගේ අනක් තියෙනවා කොහොමද ඌ එහෙම බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් ගියර් එක දාලා ෆ්ලයින් ගියර් එක දාලා අර නදීක වැනි පියාඹගෙන එනකොට අපි නිකන් අර මික් එකක් එද්දි වගේ නැවෙනවනේ බයයිනේ why very hard nitrogenous polysaccharide එකක් තියෙන යාගේ body එක හැදිලා තියෙන outer jacket outer skeleton exoskeleton we call that exoskeleton මොනවගෙන් හැදිලා තියෙන so that's a nitrogenous polysaccharide chitin වලින් හැදිලා තියෙන නේද chi තමයිනේ so that's very hard. Okay. Therefore, we don't write that animals, but because that's not pure carbohydrate, that's nitrogenous polysaccharide, chitin. So in animals' body, so glycogen exists as storage in carbohydrate. Clear with that? So these are the
Yes,
things you have to keep in your mind. So that's in plants' body structural cellulose, storage in starch. In animals' body is glycogen, the storage in. So what was that nitrogenous polysaccharide? In coleopterans, beetles, Oryctus rhinoceros, chitin. Okay, so that's chitin. Okay, now let's study cellulose. May I erase upper part?
Yep. Okay.
Let's still write in here.
1 second.
Okay. Cellulose exists in plants cell wall. That's the main constituent of plant cell wall. Cellulose වලින් තමයි plant cell wall එක හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay. Exist in that undigestive plant fibrous. අපි කිඳි සහිත ආහාර ගන්නවනේ. Constipation, මලබද්ධයෙන් එහෙම වලකින්. මලබද්ධය. So what's that? මල flower එහෙම එකක්ද නෑ. Yes, yes, that's hard to defecate. Hardening of fecal matters. Fecal matters harden vela, so that hard to defecate. මල පහ කිරීම අපහසු වීම. So that's constipation. To avoid that, fiber containing foods are ඒ කියන්නේ මේ මොනවද? කොහු තියෙන fiber containing ලණු හිටන් පබසර දීලා දිනවද? නෑ නේද? So that fiber is microscopic. ඒක මේ ඇහැට පේන ලොකු fiber එකක් නෙමෙයි මේක. හරි? So that's cellulose exists in plant cell wall. Okay. And this is undigested. Take down. It is not digested in human digestive system, but it is digested in that animals like cow. මේ හරකුන්ගේ තියෙනවා මේකටම cellulose digest කරන්න වෙනම stomach එකේ chamber එකක්. So by using microorganisms that digestion occurs. මේකට rumen එක කියලා වෙනම තියෙන ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ stomach එකේ room එකක් වෙනම rumen. Okay. So that's it's not digested in human digestive system. So therefore undigestive fibers helps to avoid constipation. මල බද්දේ නැති කරන්න වැදගත් වෙනවා cellulose fibers. Okay, so that how to make wood. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉස්කෝලේ තියෙන lead, putu, desk ඒව හදලා තියෙන්නේ මොනවද? So that's with the help of this cellulose. There are some insects who consist that cellulase enzyme like termites. Termites වගේ සත්තුන්ගේ පුතා cellulase enzyme එක තියෙනවා. So they can digest this cellulose and make holes in cellulose. Cellulose digest කරලා සිදුරු හදන්න පුළුවන් termites ලට වගේ. So in their saliva, so in their secretion, mouth secretion, that cellulase enzyme exists. ඒකත් හරි වටිනවා ලියාගන්න. Cellulase enzyme can digest. Digest means Buddha hydrolyze. Hydrolyze digest cellulose. Okay. Still writing. ලියනවා again ලියන්න හිතුව විතරයි තාම ලියනවා දානවානේ. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Good. Nadika,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me? පුතා group එකට දාන්න message එකක්. මේ left student ඔයා මේ අපේ group එකේ මම admin කරලා නෙත් තියන්නේ. No.
Oh, sir.
Left students send me the reason කියලා. නෑ මම දාන්නම් ඒක. හරි. ඔයා දැම්මොත් ඔයා දැම්ම වගේ. හරි. ඔයාට තරහ වෙයි. මේමයි ගමනක් යන්න බැරි දුවන්නේ නැති අස්සෙොත් එක්ක රේස් එකක් නෑ වගේ. හරි? අර නාකි ආච්චිලා එක්ක රබන් ගහනවා වගේ මේක හරියන්නේ නෑනේ. දැන් පටන් ගද්දි තිබ්බ එද්දි වෙනදා ඉන්න ළමයි සංඛ්‍යාවෙන් සම්පූර්ණයෙන් හිටියෙත් නැහැ. භාගය හිටියේ. එතකොට මේ 11 වසරේ අයියලා අක්කලා ටිකකුත් ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලොත් ඉඳගෙන තමයි මේ ගාන තියෙන්නේ පුතා. හරි? හරි? එතකොට මේ එහෙම වුණොත් මම so I'll call them private. මම මේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන් කතා කරන යද්දි වැදගත්කමක් තියෙනවනේ. නොවැදගත් මිනිසුත් එක්ක ගමනක් නැහැ පුතා. ඒ කියන්නේ grade 10 last term එකේ grade 11 first term එකේ ළමයි එනවා පන්ති වලට. ඇයි? ඒ එන්නේ ඔය වගේ හිටපු අය තමයි. හරියට ඉගෙන ගන්නෑ. දැන් බලන්නකෝ මම මේ කරන්නේ තුන්වෙනි ක්ලාස් එක අද. third class at straight එක දිගට. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැක්කනේ දැන් කලින් log වෙද්දි අර grade 10 අයට උගන්න හිටියගෙන අලුත් grade 11 එකට. එතකොට මේ මහන්සිය කියන්නේ කම්මැලිකම කියන සිතුවිල්ලක්නේ. එතකොට power failures එනවා. ඒක ගැටලුවක් නෑ. නමුත් මේ මොබයිල් ෆෝන් එකකින් එන අයවත් රීසන් එක කියලා ලියුවෙන්නේ නෑ. ඒවා අපි හදාගමු. තාම දන්නේ නැති හින්දා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. Okay, now look at this. Okay, next one take down. So this is cellulose. Next starch take down. Starch is the main. Starch is the main storage in
Can you repeat it?
main storage in type of polysaccharide main storage in type of polysaccharide in plant's body. Yes, locations. So that's rich in yams, grains, ධාන්‍යවල අලවල අන්තර්ගත වෙනවා. Okay, take down grains, yams, okay, so grains, yams, and jack, breadfruit. Not all the fruits. හැම fruit එකක්ම ගන්න බෑ. So jackfruit and breadfruit can be taken. So their starch level is very high. Okay, next glycogen. So very little thing we have to learn. Glycogen. පුතා identification of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate හඳුනා ගැනීම තමයි අමාරු test කිහිපයක් තියෙනවා. So we can identify starch by using iodine test that easy. but identification of monosaccharides and disaccharides, that's somewhat logical. ඒක තර්කානුකූලයි. Okay? So those processes we have to learn so very contemplately. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නයක් අපි ආපුවම අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ලකුණු ගන්න පුළුවන් එකක්. After dehydration, after hydrolysis, if that Benedict test is answers, so that's definitely a disaccharide. If directly it answers to the Benedict test, that's a monosaccharide. Okay, so that's a way of understanding. So if it is that's a starch, so directly we can identify by using iodine test. Okay, so tests are very important. Glycogen, okay, right, main storage in carbohydrate in animal's body. Where it exists, so that's in liver. It stores in liver and muscles. Yes, it exists in liver and muscles. Right. I think so. This is overall information you have to know about monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. There's only an important part next you have to do. So that's identification tests for monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. මේවට අඳුනා ගැනීමේ පරීක්ෂා. Right? Okay, now take down next subtopic. අපි මේක කරලා නවත්තමු. Significance of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate වල වැදගත්කම. Significance. Significance of carbohydrates. Yes. Yes. First one, you know that our energy substrate, main energy substrate is glucose. Take down as an energy substrate. As an energy substrate. Substrate in the process of cellular respiration. As an energy substrate in the process of cellular respiration. Okay, look at this, C6H12O6. So this is glucose. It reacts with oxygen. Okay, look at this. Carbon, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and with hydrogen, water, and large amount of energy is released. So this is with oxygen, aerobic respiration. So that's glucose, oxygen, aerobic respiration. There's another type of respiration without this oxygen, then we call that anaerobic respiration. So you have to balance this in except glucose, you can put 6 for all these instances. Actually, you can see, yes. So this is the reverse reaction of photosynthesis. මේ පුතා photosynthesis වල පසු ප්‍රතික්‍රියාව. They remember that carbon dioxide, water with sunlight energy. glucose produced with a byproduct oxygen. Now it becomes a forward reaction. So this is the cellular respiration. So this glucose act as the energy substrate. Energy substrate. So how this energy is released? Yes, 6 carbon dioxide molecules. So you can see this carbon dioxide double bond O, double bond O. So this is the way. Water molecule, 1 oxygen and hydrogen like this. So there are 6 carbon dioxide, 6 water molecules. So that consists a little energy in these bonds. May bonds are the body energy. But when you compare this large glucose molecule, you could see that there's number of bonds. මේ බොන්ඩ් වල තියෙන්නේ අර solar energy තමයි store කරලා තියෙන්නේ. So that energy that was in sunlight that has been stored in these bonds. When these bonds are broken and less, so that less amount of energy is stored in these little molecules, yes, large amount of energy is released. Therefore, in this lesson, what we require is actually significance of carbohydrate. So this carbohydrate monosaccharide glucose is used as the energy substrate, as an energy substrate in the process of cellular respiration. Okay, take it down.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, tell me.
Sir, for me the body's little blurred. Can you tell that last word of that sentence?
So that's as an energy substrate in the process of cellular respiration. Okay, so glucose plus oxygen, 6 carbon dioxide, 6 H2O. Here's just E, energy.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so next, a very important point. So you know that there are structural carbohydrates as well as storage in carbohydrates. So next importance, as a storage in compound, as a storage in compound. As a storage in compound. Yes, now you know another one. What? As a structural compound. As a structural. Yes, next one. මේ කොටස හරියටම තේරෙන්න nucleic acid ඊළඟට කරන්න ඕනේ. පුතා, in nucleic acids there's a pentose sugar group. Okay, so this pentose sugar, that means C5 carbon පහක් තියෙන කෙනෙක්. This is hexose. This pentose sugar group exists in nucleic acid. Nucleic acid වල ආයේ තියෙනවා පුතා base group එකක් and that phosphate group. Okay, so there are 4 types of bases: adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. So likewise, these nucleotides are created with the main constituent, carbohydrate. So you write as a constituent. මේක තේරෙන්න ඕනේ. නිකන් දැනගත්තාම ඇති. මේක superior තේරෙනවා nucleic acids කරද්දී. As a constituent of nucleic acids, as a constituent of nucleic acids. Okay, so actually we can do that tests for carbohydrates. So there are lots of questions created associated with this carbohydrate types. We have to identify them in exam. Okay, I'll show you that. Okay, so we have to do the tests to identify carbohydrates. So this is the main note. Describe following carbohydrate tests: starch tests, tests for monosaccharides and some disaccharides. Okay, tests for disaccharides. So we have to do hydrolysis process before the that Benedict test. Okay, next day we can start this lipids and nucleic acids. Actually, I like to do that proteins first. Okay, so identification of lipids and identification of proteins also we have to do. Okay, so I'm going to wind up here. Do you have any problem associated with this lesson? So you can ask that. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම වීඩියෝ එක බලද්දී ඒ කියන්නේ මේක ඇහෙන්න ඕන හැමෝටම left වෙච්ච කට්ටිය කියන්නේ නැතුව without rhyme no reason. So you have to send me the reason. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම reason එක කියන්න. පුතා ගිය අවුරුද්දේ මම ළමයි 70ක් අයින් කළා. හරි? මට වැදගත් නෑ ඔළුව අත ගගා මිනිස්සුන්ගේ සල්ලි ගන්න. හරි? You know that how just my justice, you know that මගේ සාධාරණ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ. හරි? I never remove students based on money. මුදල් මත පදනම් වෙලා කිසිම ළමෙක් අයින් කරන්නේ නැහැ. කෝල් කර කර කියන්නේ නැහැ. හරි? ලින්ක් එක සල්ලි වලට දාන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි මම හරියට කරනවා වගේම මටත් හරියට ඔය පැත්තෙන් ඕනේ. නැත්තම් වැරදි මිනිස්සුට මේ දැනුම ලබා දීලා නරක මිනිස්සු සමාජගත කරන්න මට කිසිම උවමනාවක් නැහැ. නරක මිනිස්සු මෝඩයෝ වශයෙන් වහල්ලු වශයෙන් සමාජින්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට තමයි ඉගෙනගත්තු මිනිස්සුන්ට තමන්ගේ අතට පයට සේවකයෝ බිහි වෙන්නේ. හරි? ඒකින්ද කාගේවත් අතට පයට සේවකයෝ නොවි මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ? So you have to work hard. So you have to learn well and you have to be the boss of that company while that lethargic people be the servants. Okay? හැබැයි ඒ මිනිස්සු සේවකයන්ටවත් සුදුසු නැහැ. Right, therefore, thank you so much for the participation. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night, sir.